Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Miss Kimberly. I just wanted to say good morning and say welcome. This is the School at Home Support Classroom that I'm offering for parents. So I created just a quick slide for me to reference so that I kind of stay on topic. So I do want to do a brief introduction. Like I said, my name is Miss Kimberly. I am a master level social worker. I have a small business, which is Miss Kimberly LLC, the MAD Mentor Program. MAD stands for Making a Difference. I am currently contracted with Normandy School Collaboratives at one of the elemental schools, and I am the Tier 3 facilitator um, in um, in their student care center. Love, love, love the school. Love, love, love the energy. I love what I get and I love what I give. I am any parent that I have that may be on here is very aware that I care deeply for my kids and I will do what I can when I can. So I generally work with a lot of the kids that struggle with some behavior issues. I find that most of that is because they don't feel heard. And sometimes it's because they don't understand the material, often in reading and math. So that becomes a struggle for them. So I've learned to try to give them techniques that help parents help them, or break it down the way parents might break it down, and put it in little bite-sized pieces. So I do have a YouTube channel, and as children or parents contact me and ask me a question, I try to create some kind of video that will be helpful not only for that child but for others. And additionally, as some of my children have mastered or feel confident or more confident about a skill set, I'll record them and kind of guide them through it. And that's helpful for them and they feel good about it. So I kind of wanted to go over the who, what, when, why, and how. So the who is you. It's for the parents and the educators to support your children in your classrooms and or your children in your household. Some of the older kids, they may need a little push. They're a little different, more of a hands off, but they still want structure. They still respond well to structure. We have some seventh and eighth graders at our school, and they respond to a lot of the stuff that my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth graders respond to. So I don't do a lot of separating them. I give them the responsibility they earn. And so we move from there. I give them quite a few tests to see if I can trust them. I ask them, can I trust them? And then we go from there because we have to establish those relationships and rapport. The what is this classroom? It's the supplemental support to help you kind of meet some of those challenges that you may face now in the classroom. I'm sorry, in your home, and some of the challenges we might see in the classroom. And so I would want you to let me know what those things are to see how I can best support you. When I will try to be here from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. Most people will tell you I'm really never off. But that's the time that I'm dedicated to kind of sit here. But as far as the invitations on the classroom, if you were given an invitation, the expectation is that you join so that you have the information. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 9 o'clock. I'll go through that list. If I see any that didn't accept the invitation, I'll go ahead and remove that so I can just focus on the ones that are there. Because I generally have incentives that I do with the kids, and so now I'm going to pass that on to you, and so it's easier for me to track that way. So then, if somebody wants to join the class, I'd rather they kind of join on that Monday, and then kind of start from there. So then I'll send out invitations on the weekends to kind of allow them some time to familiarize themselves with the stuff that's already there. The why is because many students are already at an academic deficit, and they struggle with behavior, and they end up with consequences, whether that's a clip down, a phone call, a suspension. It interrupts parents and having to get off work or call somebody, call a friend, call an uncle, aunt, grandparent, something, to pick up the kid. And so it's really to help you help them. But in the long run, honestly, it really helps you, because I think that if we create and establish these skill sets and strategies, and you have a new set of tools, that it may minimize the phone calls and the negative feedback that you may get. So how we're going to do that is by using some classroom management strategies. I've learned this from the educators in my building, because obviously I don't have a classroom, I have an office. But I have an office management plan. And so I've learned quite a bit from the educators there, and I will show you what I've done in my classroom. Well, not what I've done in my classroom, but I'll give you the tips and everything that I used in my classroom. And it's usually how we hit the road in August. And so it's kind of that putting those things in place, those systems, routines, strategies, incentives. So today my focus will be on routines. What is your get ready for school routine? So it should be the same as any other school day. You should be able to get up, take your bath, or take your bath at night, have your clothes ready, make sure the clothes are clean, make sure you put on your uniform, your socks, and everything the way that you want to send them out the house, as best you can. And so, do you give them breakfast? What do they eat? Please stay away from those hot chips. Please. Hate those hot chips. And I'm sure that if any of my kids are watching this, they are probably laughing. But I do. I don't like the hot chips. Give them an apple, an orange, a banana, something. Don't give them those hot chips. But anyway, so we should start our day. I woke up this morning just like I would any other day. Grabbed my coffee, took my shower, combed my hair, changed my clothes, put on my uniform, just like we would. I do have on Crocs, so that's probably the only thing that is home as opposed to actually work. But what is your school at home routine? What is your class management routine? And I would suggest, just to kind of make it fun and help them, kind of trigger those positive interventions, to have them call you by their teacher's name. So instead of mom, dad, aunt, uncle, granny, whatever, call them by their teacher. Whether it's a Miss Logan or Miss Martin, or Miss Makuta, whoever that is. Have them do that as a fun way to kind of change the hat from parent to educator. Decide what that schedule looks like. You might be able to talk to your school. I hope that you all have talked to your teachers by now. But figure out with your teacher for that student, what that schedule is, what the rules are, what are the expectations, what are the rewards, what are the consequences. Like, we have Fun Friday. So if you have a good week, then we do have some time on Friday. What are those consequences? Like, what does that cascade kind of look like? Do you get clipped down? We have a green, yellow, red kind of system. So everybody starts on green. Hey, if I got to give you too many times to tell you to sit down, or, be quiet, don't walk out the room or whatever, and I clip you down, you're on yellow. If I have to keep having this conversation, you're on red. And if I keep having this conversation, now I got to call your parents, and then we have to have a meeting. And so that's how you all kind of get called. But we generally have a cascade of consequences well before we even call parents. I'll ask your teacher for some help, figure out what that looks like, and how if you have several students in the home, what that looks like. Come up with one name if that's helpful. Let the child call you by their teacher's name. I do suggest that you create. There's a lot of schedules on there. If you need one, I can help you develop one. We have teachers that have posted some. I see them everywhere online, but I did kind of screenshot a few. So if you need some help with that, that's fine. I strongly suggest keeping it to about 45 minutes if possible, because that's generally how the classes are. And it's about 45 minutes and a few minutes to transition. Speaking of transition, what do transitions look like? How many kids struggle with transition? It's very difficult for them to get from science to English, or from gym to math. And so, what do those transitions look like? I generally do like a kind of check your energy. That may be helpful, and we'll kind of get into that. And then what does that after school routine look like? What does it look like to transition from, okay, we're done with school, now we're at home. And now I'm mom, or I'm dad, or I'm grandma, grandpa. So I would strongly suggest that you do what I consider a parent check-in, check-out. Figure out what's going on with the day. How did that go? What went well for them? What did not? What was the challenge? What was fun? What wasn't fun? And then maybe you can kind of make those adjustments. I suggest that you stay with the routine though, and just make the adjustments within the routine. And then what does homework look like? Because typically you go to school all day, then you come home with homework. So what does that look like? And so obviously being at home all day, every day is going to be a challenge. And so you might have to make some adjustments or get creative. But the structure should still kind of be reminiscent of school. So that way, whenever this is over, and they go back, they'll be used to maybe raising their hands, calling their teacher's name. You can't just blurt out. It's considered a class disruption. When you get mad, do you storm out or throw a table? How do you manage that? These are some of the behaviors that we may or may not see. So what does that look like? And so I encourage you, we have professional development today. And so just as we get ready to prepare to see what our routines and procedures will look like, I strongly suggest that you do the same. And if you need any help, by all means, reach out to me. And I look forward to this. I'm actually looking forward to seeing my kids. I will be taking somewhat of an attendance. So I will try to check in. I got to create my sheet, and my kids and the parents and whose babies, what babies belong to those parents, and just contact information so that we can stay in touch and I can support you the best way that I can support you. So I hope that was helpful. I know this was a little long, but it's an introductory. Let's see. Oh, you can say hi to Bam Bam. Hi, Bam Bam. Oh, and that other little unicorn that was hanging outside my office. Anyway, so I look forward to seeing you soon, and have fun in the classroom. Bye.